The NBA All-Star Game, it's supposed to be a celebration. The best players, the biggest names, pure entertainment. But every year we walk away asking the same question. Is the All-Star Game actually good anymore? Tonight, we're breaking what went right, what went wrong, and what the NBA needs to figure out moving forward. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Alec Brown, joined alongside Isaac Hallock and Isabella Mackey. And guys, there was a lot to take away from this All-Star weekend. A lot of good, a lot of bad. We saw a bunch of new changes to a couple competitions as well. But what did you guys think went well?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good move overall by the NBA. Looking at this round-robin style tournament, they went with it last year as well. And, you know, overall, this isn't exclusive to the NBA, but just looking around at All-Star games in general, you have players that aren't necessarily playing as they would in a normal game, and rightfully so. There's injury concerns, just guys too, but the best of the best wanted to have a little bit of fun out there. And I think this gave them something to play for. You have two teams, two American teams, one world international team. And it goes back to something Anthony Edwards said along the lines of the world team was saying they were the best in the world, and we beat them and showed that, well, maybe they're not. So in this case, I do like that the NBA is doing this, is that these players almost feel like they have something to play for now in this tournament-style competition. Makes for some fun games, some fun little matchups, these 4 12-minute games. So overall, I think the NBA is on the right track with the tournament style for an All-Star break.
I agree. I really like this format, and I think you could tell that the players liked it too. I mean, in their post conferences, they all seemed really happy, and it seemed fun for them. And it was very defense heavy, which I liked. Victor Wemby, he was playing very good, and then all the other players, they started catching on to that, and they were taking it serious too. I mean, in the post conference, I loved Tyrese Maxey. They just seemed like they were having fun, and it was more enjoyable to watch. I felt like I seen a lot more good press surrounding it. A lot of people were like, this was actually like a good NBA All-Star to actually watch and see. And I think that this format worked very well. And I think it was entertaining for the viewers to watch too.
Yeah, I think just kind of going off your guys' point, just to see just any kind of competitiveness out there is just really a huge step in the right direction, just because we kind of get that notion sometimes, at least from 2021 for the last 5 or 6 years, we haven't really seen that level of competition. Some players, they're more into it than others. Like last year, they kind of ran the same format, but there was G Leaguers involved and other players that maybe shouldn't have been there. So it kind of lost that sense of competitiveness. But this year, it seems like once a lot of the players got rolling, like in that first game, Anthony Edwards and Victor Wembanyama were really going at it. And then you saw a couple games later, Kawhi Leonard dropped 31 on that same world team. And it's a lot of fun matchups like that. And then when both USA teams came against each other in that final game, you saw a lot of defense from the younger guys, including Devin Booker for whatever reason. But hey, I guess he's 29, young enough.
Yeah.
But still, it was really fun to see that. But enough of the good. What did the NBA go wrong, or where did they go wrong in this format?
I know we all really praise this format, but so in theory, very good, but in practice, maybe not so much. And I think the main reason we can really take a look and say that is due to the fact that normally the NBA All-Star Game played at 8 o'clock in the evening. Well, NBC had this All-Star tournament, so it was pushed to 5 o'clock Eastern Time. It was played out in LA, 2 o'clock out in LA. So from a network perspective, it was almost like an afterthought. And obviously, I mean, you can understand the Olympics, it's a big thing, a big global competition. So in that respect, and also, look in the arena in LA, there were definitely some empty seats there as well. So I think the NBA, now the issue is, for those who did watch, and as you know, we said this was some good basketball, and for those that did, that was clear. But for those that didn't, the NBA needs to find a way to make this a little bit more marketable, more intriguing to fans, really proving that hey, this is a new style of all-star competition, all-star tournament where the best of the best are truly going to come out to play. And, you look, 3 of these 4 games were very, very good games outside of the championship game, bit of a blowout between the Stars and the Stripes. But yeah, as you mentioned, Alec, you look at a 31-point performance from Kawhi Leonard, and you have Anthony Edwards and Wembanyama kind of duking it out in their matchup against the world team and one of the American teams. So there's some fun basketball here that was played. So you really got to market this to the fans and maybe also switch things around network-wise, time-wise, that at least from a television perspective, make it more interesting, maybe more appealing, a nice nightcap type of tournament.
Yeah, I agree. I think where they really fell apart here was the marketing and advertising aspect of it, which is so important for sports, especially like an all-star weekend, which a lot of people don't have a lot of hype about. So it was just marketed not that well. And again, this was a tough year because of the Olympics. Everybody's watching the Olympics and nobody really cares about the All-Star games, especially when in the past years it was kind of boring. But I think like you said, I had that too. I was like, it's just too early. I think the three-point contest, that was so early on Saturday, and just like nobody wants to watch it. And again, with the marketing stuff, it was advertised kind of as a USA versus the world, but then you had the final and it was USA versus USA.
Right.
So I think those are some parts where they kind of have to reevaluate what their marketing plan is and kind of maybe throw that out and have a whole new system. But yeah, I think the marketing and advertising just wasn't there. I mean, I didn't even realize it was the weekend until I went on to NBC to watch the Olympics and I saw that instead. So I think something there needs to change, especially also the rules. I think the tiebreaker rules were a little kind of murky, that they need to figure that out for next year, because there was some aspects that were a little like in like a gray area. So I think they need to fix that.
Yeah, it's going off both your points. It does seem like there were like little small flaws that really just made it not the best experience we could have gone. Like, yes, the play was incredible. We got really good competition. But it almost seemed like it wasn't in a good construction order. Like, for example, we had the Stars and Stripes at the end. That was awesome. But once again, yeah, the world was really heavily bought into this because they had Wembanyama, they had Giannis, they had Jokic, they had Luka. And to not see them in that final game was very strange. So I almost wonder if they may go back to the original format of an East versus West, just because you have those same familiar names. It doesn't get all confused, this weird tournament-style format where you have one team playing for 5 minutes, and then, oh, here comes the next team out of nowhere. So hopefully that can maybe get fixed and we'll have a nicer product there. But now looking into Saturday's events, like the dunk contest, the skills game, the three-point contest. Obviously, three-point contests went great, but sometimes the skill challenge and dunk contest, they don't really have that same pop or flair that it used to. The rules are always getting changed in the skills challenge, and the dunk contest, it doesn't really have that same eye-glaring effect that it used to back 10 years ago. So what do you guys think happened there, or how does the NBA go away from this?
Man, I really focus on the dunk contest. That is such a legendary NBA thing, going back into the 70s. Julius Erving winning the very first one. I mean, you can take a look at, of course, Michael Jordan winning dunk contest. You have Kobe doing it. Legendary moments from Vince Carter. So to see the NBA dunk contest go by the wayside, to me, is something of a travesty. That might be a big word, but we'll go with that for this. And, I mean, you look at the one thing I do kind of like about it is now you get to see some of these players you might not hear from as much. I mean, a guy like Mac McClung, he did have a great college career, but now he's really becoming known for his dunks. He won the last 3 dunk contests, and now a guy like Keshad Johnson, who also, like McClung, spent some time in the G League. Johnson, these past 2 seasons with the Heat, has only played 37 games in Miami, so you get to see some of these guys. But at the same time, yes, some of these dunks, it's getting a little stale at times. We're seeing some of the same things out there. So some of the things that have been floated out there to really change this and revitalize the dunk contest, really getting some of the stars involved, getting some of those big names, which can be few and far between because a lot of them, well, maybe don't want to. So got to think, there already is an incentive in winning the dunk contest, now up to $105,000. So maybe something contractually for some of these players to maybe get them more incentivized to play. Might sound a little crazy, but hey, it could get some of those stars involved. And also, one other point that could really revitalize the dunk contest is looking at getting teams involved, making it into a team event, maybe getting some of those guys from the Stars or the Stripes of the world, and then making it, as that round-robin tournament is, a team event with those 3 teams, getting them all involved somehow. So could be some ways to get this back alive, because I think, man, if you're the NBA, to lose the dunk contest, that's a loss I don't think you can really take.
Yeah, I agree that it just needs to, the dunk contest kind of needs to be reformatted or changed. I think if you don't have the stars doing it, nobody wants to watch G Leaguers. They're random. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in that. And they're giving mediocre dunks, and players are getting hurt, and it's just not fun to watch anymore. So I think get the stars back involved, and if not, throw it away. It's so sad to say, but it's just dying a slow death right now, and if there's not something they can do to fix it, then they need to get rid of it. But I think some things to make it more marketable, they need to take a page out of the NHL's book. I know that they do a concert series for their All-Star weekend. A few years back, they had Tate McRae. She was there, and it brought in a lot more viewership from people. And I think that's something the NBA can do, even though it's not related to sports at all. It still gets people to come in, and maybe people will fill up the stands for that, and it'll be more interesting. And it's something to talk about other than like the contest. And I think something that they did well a few years ago was do an aspect with the WNBA. They had Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. They had them go on the court and do a contest together, and that was really fun to watch. I know that got a lot of hype, so I think they should bring that back. And it also helps the WNBA get some more viewership too and stuff like that. So I think those are some things that they need to work on.
I mean, yeah, just going off your point of just having almost nobody in the dunk contest. The guy who won it only played 37 games in the NBA. Yeah. Jace Richardson was another name, Carter Bryant, and then known good person, Jackson Hayes was the final person. And he went out there and did a dunk from, I think, 10 feet inside the free throw line. So that's not what people want to see. I think what people also forget is just the young stars that were involved. Vince Carter wasn't really Vince Carter when he won the dunk contest. And that was with Steve Francis and Tracy McGrady. And then you look down the line, Nate Robinson wasn't a star yet. Dwight Howard wasn't a star yet. Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon were not stars yet or playing contributors on NBA championship level teams. So I think getting those younger guys could really help. Like John Morant and Zion Williamson came in 2019. We never saw them in a dunk contest. That's unacceptable. That's some of the best dunkers that we have of this generation. Or Anthony Edwards, or just guys like that. So hopefully that the NBA can take some advice from this, maybe get some new things going on, maybe even get a one-on-one contest going. But will that happen? Maybe we won't know until next year for the All-Star game. But until then, that'll do it for Penn State Sports Night. For Isaac Hallock and Isabella Mackey, I'm Alec Brown. Thank you for tuning in once again.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.